camouflage him.
You are not him. You are not him.
Let's go. Hey, I told a bitch I'm him, quit playing. Tryna ride with a boss, what bitch get in?
Welcome to HiMania Podcast. I'm Noah Rosenfeld. This is my brother Ethan, and today we're doing a little bit of an introductory episode. And we really came to this podcast because we wanted to, put our use it as a platform to put out there for bringing guests on that can help provide insight in people's lives. We're both giving individuals, and we also are very interested in learning different fields and stuff like that. And so for us, a big thing is trying to use the network we have and kind of, filling people in on that kind of stuff. So, as far as when I came to you about the idea, I mean, where would you see it started?
Well, I just think it's a good way to, just kind of sit down and have a good conversation with a bunch of different people from, all different backgrounds, whether it's athlete, rapper, artist, celebrity of some sort, and just sit down and have a good conversation about different areas of life, industries, and put something out there that, everybody can look at and take something positive away from it.
That's what I'm saying. And I went to him with this idea. We're working on some other things together as our own. And as far as the idea, it kind of just came from collaborating. We were in a room with someone and we were just talking, and it's like, why don't we just do a podcast? Everybody does one nowadays, but it's kind of just like, I think it's important to, just do your own thing and try to make it as unique as we could. And, we got a team together. We got Barnes, doing the engineering. And
shout out Barnes.
Shout out Barnes for real. He's really hooking it all up. And I just went to him with the idea. He's like, heck yeah, let's rock with it. So went to all the guests and stuff like that. So it was really just a collaborative effort between everybody. I just kind of presented the idea, and then as time went on, we got the logo together, and we collabed on that. And it just kind of came from there. We started the Instagram, got a little bit of a following, and kind of went from there. So that's kind of like where we got the idea, though, was kind of, at one of our business meetings for one of our businesses we're in. That's where we got the idea, and that's kind of like what triggered it, is because we're getting into businesses and spaces, the NFT space, and, he's got a dog kennel and he's breeding dogs, and I've got some other shit with sports agency on the way and stuff like that. So for me, it's like it's an opportunity to not only network our network out there and show people what we can provide them if they're interested in a field of the guests we have on and whatnot. What can they, get from the information we're sharing? And so, as far as like business and stuff, what inspired you to come on here and talk about like the things we're going to be talking about with guests and like your businesses, and what are you getting into? You want to talk about that?
I try to get as many sources of income as possible through multiple different industries. Right now I'm working on my NFT project. Hopefully drop that in June, start marketing in May. Market it for a whole month and hopefully drop it just based on where we're at from there. Talk a little bit about that later after we start marketing and everything. And then of course I got my dog kennel, breeding a lot of dogs.
Jokes Up Pups on Instagram. I'm going to put the link below, and I'll put the tag.
So let me see one of them. Let me see Dixie.
Larice.
Let me see Dixie. But yeah, I got Frenchies. I got XL bullies. We got fluffy Frenchies too. But yeah, he'll put the link in the description and everything. But no, it's dogs are just something I'm really passionate about. I love animals, and
Right, and it was an avenue for you to enjoy something.
Yeah, enjoy something while I do it, while making money. But this is Dixie. She's a really cute girl. She's a Frenchie. She's about 3.5 months old.
So how does that like, for our listeners and our audience, like how does that process work about going into starting a dog kennel? Because I know you and Larice, your partnership and whatnot, you guys kind of got one dog, then you got the idea and you kept going, and now you've got 3 dogs you're going to be breeding?
Well, so Larice right now, my partner, he kind of takes care of more of the Frenchie side, as far as the fluffies and the French bulldogs. He kind of manages that side. I'm more in with the XL bullies. I got a pit bull a while ago, and that was kind of my inspiration for everything. Nala, that's my baby. Shout out Nala. And So now I have like 4 bullies myself, and then I got 2 that are breeding completely through my kennel. So those 2 are girls. My friend Jaden, his girl Dior, she's a beautiful girl. She's about 100-pound XL. And then Harley, my other friend Vince's girl. And then I got Butters. She's my other XL girl. And then I got Kobe and Mello, my 2 boys. So yeah, but basically, just as far as the business side on that, it's really just you got to grow it. You got to start small, and then sell a few dogs here and there, and just really start to market your brand, and get some studs. Like, you know what I'm saying, the dogs we have, I was really fortunate to get some really, really good looking dogs. So really, really excited for what the future holds.
Yeah, and I know you guys have a huge Instagram following and stuff like that. As far as what role has that really played? Because a lot of people nowadays use social media to really go through business and stuff like that, and I personally think it's a great opportunity to get your stuff out there, and especially if you've already got an established profile within yourself. Starting a thing with a good network behind you, I think anything's possible with social media nowadays. So take people through as far as how you built your social media, because I've seen you do it from the bottom up when you first started the page. Now you got a lot of traction, you got a lot of other dog pages interacting with you, and kind of go into
Yeah, so I feel like with any industry, it's all about collaboration and networking, getting your brand out there to other people. My partner, he went to a lot of dog shows and brought his dogs out there and networked as far as on the Frenchie side, and got us a huge following, a loyal following. But it's really, social media is imperative to business nowadays, because it's really all about, what you can offer, and social media is a way that you can show what you can offer. But it's really, social media is imperative to business nowadays, because it's really all about, what you can offer, and social media is a way that you can show what you can offer constantly, daily, through a source that really everybody can pay attention to. And it's like a secondary lifestyle nowadays. Social media is your virtual life, and then you have your real life. But you definitely need to incorporate business into that side as well, because, so like I said, social media, it's imperative to any business setup you want to do nowadays.
Right, absolutely. And that's, with our NFT project, that's what, as far as how we're going to use the ability of social media, that's what everything we've been talking about.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. And as far as the NFTs too, one thing I've always said from the beginning, our project, we've been working on our project 8 months, probably 9 months.
It's been that long?
But
it's been that long.
Yeah, it's been a minute, but that's because, we focused on quality the whole way.
Right.
Quality over anything. Can't rush anything, can't force anything, and just got to make sure that, you're doing everything the right way. Because you can have an absolute garbage project, and if you market it the right way through social media and everything, you know what I'm saying, it'll sell out, you'll make some money. But if you have a really quality project and you do it the right way,
and all the things that we're
you can have, you know what I'm saying, that's what I focus on. I want to have a community that can develop over the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Right, exactly. And we're going to, build it into a business at the end of the day. And I think one of the things you said to tail off of that, as far as what it has been like, doing it quality and taking our time on it. I think, a lot of our generation, with how social media is and how, all these influencers post their good lives, and social media is very good times a lot of the time on social media. And I think that people, see this, and it programs them to think oh, I'm going to be an overnight success if I start this business. When I think the reality in our world today is that there is opportunity for quick success compared to for example, our dad, he's a lawyer. It took him years to get there's 20-year-olds getting into now that are in the NFT space. You know what I'm saying? In certain aspects, it's a lot easier to go quicker into that space and gain a much more quicker rate of success, in my opinion. But at the same time, it's not what Instagram and our internet and our social media portrays it to be. It's not an overnight thing. It's a quality, consistent work that is put in and day out to provide.
Yeah, it's constant critique. It's constant A&R, just like music.
Right.
You just need to be constantly critiquing and making sure would I like this if I wasn't basically directing, or you just got to make sure from the outsider point of view that it's something that would satisfy them, that they'd be interested in. But it's really about what you can guarantee as far as like the real world attributes too as an NFT project.
Right.
You want to be able to tell the people that's buying into your project, your stakers, your holders, like, this is what I'm guaranteeing you guys if you're involved in this project. And that's a way to build a lot of traction, get a lot of people involved.
And I think like what's been really good for ours is like at the end of the day, we've brought a lot of collaborative work toward the project to where, we've allowed, for example, the meeting we had a couple weeks ago, there was a big point made that everybody needs to put in their creativity, because at the end of the day, the more creativity shared, the more minds on one thing. Not necessarily does it mean you're going to get a better idea, but it gives you in a different aspect that can
gives
lead
you a different
to
perspective.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
The more the merrier.
We've seen that happen through.
The more perspectives you have, the better angle you can take a look at things, because you don't need a bunch of people, but if you have a solid group of 5 people, like our team's a solid core, like 5-6 people, and if you're just able to have a constant fluid circle among those people where everybody's able to communicate, have a voice, then it can be successful, because that way nobody's getting irritated with the way it's going, and that way everybody's opinion is held to a certain standard of respect and value.
Right, and what, like, because I feel like we talk on a daily basis. We talk 6-7 times a day, I feel like. And for me, it's kind of like, I've learned a lot from, like, the approach to, like, certain subjects we go about. I've learned a lot about my, like, approach to these things, because from my experience of working on this project and other projects I've worked on, I think it's been really good to have this, like, longer time to where we've learned things as we've gone on.
Yeah.
And we've learned, because there were strategies where we're thinking about going with when we started, and now we're not working.
Yeah, there's a lot of strategies, like, 3 or 4 big ones that were completely thrown out just because as time goes on and as you really start to tap into things more, and it becomes more of a reality and it starts to get going, you see that those things aren't necessary if you put in the work in certain areas. That's really what it takes, hard work. I can say that I've tried multiple things in my past, other businesses with, crypto stuff or just other stuff that just hasn't worked out. But it takes experience, it takes failure to
you're
win.
going to fail.
Yeah, everybody's going to fail. And if you don't fail and you win, you won't learn anything. It's all about experience, hardship. I tend to find that people that go through hardship and struggle and pain and all that stuff at a younger age or are just exposed to it in different cultures, areas, tend to be a lot more mature at a younger age. And I feel like I said, that comes with experience.
And so it's like having that open mindset going into the something you're working on, understanding like things can change. Like things are going to change. You're not going to go with the strategy you first started off with directly on paper. Things over time are going to evolve, and I think what has allowed us to do that with our mindset is going about it, okay, well, maybe this isn't the best idea, and then we learn something and we, figure it out. But at the end of the day, I think we've come to the understanding that we can, critique ourselves and be true to what we are trying to be, and understand that sometimes can take constructive criticism from within, and it takes constructive criticism from outside sources as well. So I think that's been really key to where we're headed with this project, as we've gone on with such an open mindset to change.
Yeah, you have to be willing to change and adapt, because this is something we're all new to.
Right.
It doesn't matter how experienced and how veteran you are, everyone's still new to this because it's a new industry.
Right.
So you, in any setting, in any industry, anything like that area, you have to be willing to adapt and willing to, be able to thrive in any situation you're put in order to be successful. And that's in any walk of life. You need to be able to adapt and thrive.
It's been great, like working with somebody like Dre, because that's been an opportunity to have someone else's creativity from a different background, like what he's trying to go at, and then incorporate our creativity. That's where collaboration, I think, can be so successful, is working together. And that's leading up to my next point, where that's another reason we started this, is to really bring in like these conversations to a podcast, because I think at the end of the day, like it really can be helpful to people, because I know there's a lot of people getting into NFTs. I know there's a lot of people getting into business, whether it's a dog kennel, whether it's, you know, a YouTube channel, whatever it is. People are starting things on their own, and entrepreneurship is becoming much more common in today's age.
Entrepreneurship, because people are starting to see it's why work for other people, why sell my time, sell my life for other people to be rich when I could do it on my own.
Absolutely.
And that's something I've seen from a young age, like, oh, I can't have it, well, I'm going to figure out a way I'm going to get it, and I'm going to work hard to get it, because, like, that's the mindset it takes, like, and that's, like, the mindset I've had at a young age. Like, I'm only 20 years old, and, I mean, the last year or so, I've probably ran through 1,000, I'd say, through crypto and other things, just through dogs, all that stuff, and it's just all about investing into stuff that doesn't depreciate.
Right, and it's like that's what's so valuable. Again, back to the network thing. It's like having a network of people around you can introduce you to things that you didn't know you would understand so well.
Yeah, like people don't understand, like, it's like experience and network. It's about who you know. It's not about what you know sometimes. Like, I would 9 times out of 10 rather hire somebody that is street smart than someone that's book smart and has no social skills. Because book smart is able, like, anyone's able to do that and learn it and adapt it. But street smart is something that is gained through, like I said, experience, social skills, networking, and you're able to
in any line of
adapt
business,
in
you
different
know,
situations.
there's always going to be a consumer and there's always going to be a provider, and whether it's through technical stuff, whether it's through with that, whether it's through the internet, whether it's in person, whether it's through Zoom call, whatever it is, you have to communicate with people and you have to understand how people work. At the end of the day, if you're going to be in business. You can't just go to Harvard Law School, but you don't come out of your dorm room for 4 years and come out and expect to be able to go into a courtroom with 100 people and be able to, you know, have a fluid conversation. You're not just stating things that you memorized from a book. So I think, and that's in any line of business, not just law, but I think
you can't. I feel like people have done it. It's just,
of course,
you can get a lot farther, a lot faster based off just being able to really sell yourself, sell what you're doing. Because, I mean, business, what it boils down to is sales. Are you able to outsell the next man to your right or to your left, based off, you know, not what you have as a quality, but what you can offer as a person.
Exactly.
You got to be able to sell yourself in order to be successful in any situation.
Well, and it's like, you know, I think one of the other things I really wanted to get into, what inspired me to do this is, you know, there's a couple podcasts that I have seen and I've really enjoyed listening to and things like that, but it's something I was passionate about starting. You know, I thought that we had a great engineer in Barnes and he could help. We had a team, we had a film crew, you know, all this other stuff, and it's like, it's something that was fairly simple, that wouldn't take a lot, and it's just about sweat equity with this kind of thing. And it's like, I really found my inspiration from within, and I think it's important for people to, you know, go into their own selves and not try to always dictate through other people's opinions what they should and what they shouldn't do. And I think there's a lot of people nowadays, especially with social media and the, you know, confirmation people seek on there. I think that it's a huge thing in our society for people to ask around, and, you know, I even catch myself doing it sometimes, you know.
Yeah, but people look for that. They look for outer source confirmation from other people, and that's because people are weak minded. They need other people to tell them that they're good, because they can't.
I don't even know if it's like a weak minded thing. I think it's more so human nature, especially with social media. But it's a weak minded trait, I think. But I don't necessarily think. I think it's just a habit that people have because of the society we live in, and I think it's something that if you're wanting to break that and make a change in your life, I think you have to start searching within yourself for that affirmation. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the day.
I mean, yeah, you have to be. The number one thing is you have to be honest and true to yourself, because if you can't even do that, then you won't live a decent life at all. Because if you can't look in the mirror and feel like you've walked through a day without even, like, telling a lie or just being honest with yourself, like, that life's miserable. Like, you got to be able to really feel honest and true to who you are before you can do anything. And when you're not, and you're constantly lying and you're just, like, trying to be somebody you're not, and trying to put an image out there so people like you or accept you, like, that shit
Right.
sucks, because at the end of the day, you only have one life, and, you know, you're never going to get another shot at this, so
Right,
do it the way you want to do it.
And I saw something recently in a podcast I was actually watching, shout out the Full Send podcast, but I was watching them, and one of the guys on there, it was actually Gary Vee, he was a guest on there, and he was talking about how all these people in today's world, like, they have this, like, inkling that they're not good enough, or they're not, you know, enough, because what they see on social media, people are saying, oh, I made $1 million in a day, and it's like, when I was younger, there was a lot of times where I really cared what I got back on social media. Now, I think today I've taken it to where it's like I use social media and stuff like that to express how I'm feeling, or express, like, my vibe, if you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? Express what I'm trying to present to the world of who I am. And it's not necessarily, I don't look at it to get, you know, likes and comments and shares. Sometimes I use, you know, friends of mine that I'm close with, that, hey, share this for me, because it's something that can propel whatever I'm trying to get at. Typically it's with whatever business or clothing or something like that. But I think it's so important to know that, like, having that inner affirmation, because lately, you know, the past year or so, I've really, like, started to feel like I don't need anybody else's, you know, affirmation to go about my life. Like, I'm good to where I'm at, and I can look in the mirror and be happy with who I am, and know that I've got room to grow as a human being, as we all do. But knowing in the last year how much I've changed, of getting to where I can look in the mirror and be like, I don't need anybody else's approval to what I'm doing. And I think that's so important.
Yeah, I feel like for me...
And I feel like you've gotten there too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for me, like, over the last year, just kind of figuring out what I want to do for my life. Do I just want to go to college for 4 years and then get a $60,000 a year job and, you know, just live average? Or do I just want to say, screw that, and do what I want to do? And that's what I decided. And I was in a position financially where I was able to do that without the help of my parents, without relying on anybody else, and just say, you know, fuck it, basically. I'm going to do this because I want to. And that's what I did. And I mean, I feel like that's what everybody should do, but you can't do that. No one can do that. You can do it at any point in life you want to, but you won't lead a successful life after that unless you're at a position in life where you're able to do that. Because a lot of people want to be grown up so fast and want to be an adult and do it. But it's important to enjoy your life, but it's also life is a responsibility.
Right, and with that comes finding something every day to provide that it will be something.
Yeah, it's about.
I think that's what's so
the problem is 99% of the time most people don't do anything they're passionate about because they just want to make ends meet and live an average life.
Exactly.
That's totally fine. I have a lot of friends like that. They're just like, you know, I just want to be, you know, comfortable, and that's awesome. But I've never been that way.
Right.
I've always been the type of person I want to be something more.
I want the cars. I want the house.
Yeah, no, like I want to live a lavish lifestyle, but also the number one thing for me is I've seen people that are rich, billionaires, millionaires, that are miserable as fuck, and I've seen homeless people and really poor people that are much happier. The first thing for me is happiness, just being really happy where I'm at with my friends, family, and then the success.
I just want to be able to wake up every day in a good mood.
Yeah,
you know, obviously, you're gonna have your days as a human being.
Yeah, obviously.
Nobody goes through life and just, you know.
I'd rather have my bad days on a yacht though, than sitting in a.
Yeah, for sure. But, you know, and that's like where we're headed with this is like I see this podcast as something that's going to really help and interest people. And I think it's going to be great for people that are interested in certain fields. You know, as far as the guests we're having on, I mean, shoot, we can get into a little bit of that. Like we've got, you know, college basketball players, NBA basketball players, coaches, business moguls, from whether it's an investor,
players, right?
NFL players.
I have a lot of people on from different angles.
We've already got all these guys lined up for the most part.
It'll be a good podcast to, you know, just reach out into different industries.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be really important to make sure that, you know, our focus is not building our own, like, you know, cloud or whatever. My true passion about this and what I wanted to do this for was I came to you with the idea because I felt like we have a network that can help people that don't have that network currently. And I think that the insight that can be provided on our podcast will help propel people in their own lives. And like I said at the beginning, I'm a giving person, and I think that this is my way and platform that I can use these connects and network to provide these people with conversations. And, we're going to have like a way where a fan has a question for an upcoming guest, or there's something that they want to be asked in a certain industry. Well, I want those people to be able to ask those questions and then kind of interject them into our conversations when we have these guests on, because like I said, this is about the audience and reaching a group of people and a community of people and bringing them together to really understand what we're trying to do and what we're trying to get across by bringing on these people that are very successful in this field. And that's like where I got the name HiMania. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, in our culture, LeBron is him, Tom Brady is him. Everybody in their respective field can be considered him if they are successful to a certain level. And that's kind of what I wanted to do by getting that HiMania, by bringing on people in their own, distinctive fields where they are considered him. And that's kind of how I came up with the idea. But yeah, I'm excited to have all the guests on here, and I think it's really going to be something special. I actually, talked to some designers lately from Cincinnati, and we got some clothing people, and they're going to get some merch together. So stay tuned on that. We got some merch coming out. It's going to be fire. We're going to have different designs on the back, but the front's typically going to be the same. But it's going to be some super dope drip. And we'll announce that soon. I'm hoping to have it done here in the next couple of weeks. So I think that'll be great. So I think that it's going to be really a great thing for people around us. And I'm excited to do it with you. I think it's pretty cool that we got I got my brother on here hosting with me, and Barnes is going to get on here a couple times here and there for some guest hosts and whatnot. So it's going to be something that I'm really going to enjoy the process of and growing organically and stuff. So
yeah, I'm really excited. I think we'll have a lot of really cool people on and able to put a lot of really good content out there. So I think it'll be really cool.
All right. Well, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are we have the Instagram started, so if you give us a follow if you haven't already, it's in my bio, it's in his bio, just give us a follow, give us a subscribe on YouTube, and we'll be having a lot of more content coming out in the coming weeks, and very excited. So yeah.
You are not him. You are not him.
Let's go. I told a bitch I'm him, quit playing. Tryna ride with a boss, what bitch get in?